Oh, okay.
Really? Imagine that.
Hey, Nyla. Hi, everybody.
It's all good. It's all good.
I just can't stop talking.
Well, that's on the recording now, so that's all right, everybody. That's recorded forever. We want to welcome everybody to our Monday Night Zoom team call, and it's so exciting because just this weekend, it was announced that our Omega Blend right here, is now available for everyone to be able to offer to their family, friends, their customers, their loved ones. And we want to armor you with as much knowledge as possible so you'll have that confidence when you go out there and talk to people. And so what we did is we took a couple photographs when we were at conference of some of the slides that Dr. Du Bois had done. One of the slides with the check marks, I just had my assistant make it up, but I'm going to put that on Team Renewed Hope for everybody to be able to use. This is an exciting time when we have a brand new product. And let's just turn this over to Dr. John Saran. For those of you that don't know him, he's double board certified, specializing in internal medicine. He's a great teacher, he's taught at medical schools, universities all over. His private practice is here in Naperville. And he's also my husband. So, and it's our anniversary in just 2 days this time. So we are talking to all of you. Go ahead.
So when you're done, you will probably know more about these omegas than 90% of the world and even most of the doctors, because I could tell you there's just so much good information here. Do you want to show the first slide, Jan?
Absolutely. We're going to share our screen here.
First,
Hold on. Just 1 second. 1 second. We're going to get there. Hold on. All right. Here we go.
I love the fact, first of all, that the omegas are just so much a part of the whole Juice Plus philosophy. As we say, the next best thing. So the fact that it's plant-based, that it's minimally processed, vegan, non-GMO, kosher, that it will have in the future NSF, it's been applied for. And the fact that it provides a broad range of the omegas. Many people may be on fish oils, for example, that are giving them omega-3s. We'll talk about that in a minute. But that's just like eating, asking people, well, what fruit do you eat? Well, I eat an orange. What else? Nothing. So it's, you know, you want that variety, just like we teach in all of our other areas. And the fact that this product provides the range 3, 5, 6, 7, and 9 is just huge. So we'll go to we would show the ingredients here. And then again, some of the ingredients, the beautiful whole sources. Again, being part of the philosophy that we're Juice Plus is plant-based and minimally processed. One of the big, before that, let's go back a minute, Jan. One of the big ways it differs, you see, oh,
Wait
sorry.
a second. Go back, let's try that. No, okay. Previous, all right, I got it.
One of the questions people are gonna ask right off the bat, I take fish oils, why should I be interested in omegas? Well, let's talk. So first of all, fish oils are one of the most heavily processed supplements on your shelf. So when you walk down those aisles, you can just imagine fish oils. They're required 3 to 5, depending on the process, 3 to 5 processes to remove all the harmful mercury, PCBs, chemicals. And that's because we know we live in a polluted planet. All the fish are polluted all the way from Antarctica to the North Pole. And there was a study Dr. Du Bois presented where one of the consumer labs studied, and up to maybe as much as 1/3 of the fish oils on the market still contained, even after all that heavily processing, traces of chemicals like PCBs and mercury. So you just, heavy metals, you just can't get them all out as hard as you try. And the fact that it's vegan source, not the fish. And so where do the fish get their omega-3s? They get it from algae, right? Little fish eat the algae in the ocean, and the big fish eat the little fish down the chain. So we're cutting out the middle fish, as it will, the middle.
Or else you could say we're giving you fish food.
We're giving you fish food rather than the fish. And that's the algae, which is the #1 ingredient, which you know from your flavor reading is the biggest ingredient on the label. And then what they've done is add other plant sources. Let's go to the next one. And why are these omegas, we'll talk in a minute, so important? because this is right off Dr. DuBois' slide. They're anti-inflammatory. They help us fight infections, reduce allergies because they're anti-inflammatory, balance immune system, blood pressure, cholesterol, help to detox. They're very strong antioxidants. And then you heard me lecture about free radicals, so very strong to reduce those free radicals, neutralize them, and even some benefits with cancer, but not on the slides. Huge benefits for the eyes, heart, brain, skin, GI, diabetes, and aging. There's some studies to show that omegas lengthen the telomeres, lengthen those caps on our DNA to allow our cells to make those few extra cell divisions and for all of us to last a little longer. So they are actually anti-aging in that regard. Next, I'll go a little bit more into it. Well, before we go here, omega-3s and 6s, I don't have a slide, are essential fatty acids. So we're talking about good fats here. You know the idea of good proteins, good carbos. Now we're talking about good fats. These are fats, these are fatty acids, these are oils. 3s and 6s are essential, meaning our body needs them. We can't make them. We have to eat them every day. Essential to our life and health. The omega-5, 7, 9s, non-essential. Our body can make them, but we need 3s and 6s. So back to the 3s. The algae and later the fish down the line are the big sources of the omega-3s. Huge for what we said. Brain, eyes, our eye doctors, Jan, are very interested in it. And the reason our brain is mostly fat, you've heard Dr. Sears say that, and it's mostly omega fat. And the body will use these omegas to coat our brain cells and coat the nerve roots and the nerve endings and the nerve connections. Electricity travels better. Remember, these are neuroelectric impulses that are going down to how one brain cell talks to the other. Each brain cell having 10,000 connections. They're aligned in this fat. That's very important to our survival. And they're antioxidants. Fat oxidizes. You leave oil or butter out there in the heat, just think in our bodies, 98.6 are running hot. So we need antioxidants, protect our brain. These vasodilate, so they open up our blood vessels, keep that blood flow going to the brain, help prevent platelet stickiness. They're anti-inflammatory. What better elements do we need in our brain than those omega-3s because of all those properties? Then we need omega-6s too. You may have heard, well, omega-6s are bad. No, they're not bad. Omega-6s by themselves are essential. We need them to make hormones. We need them to as anti-inflammatories. For example, there's one, it's from LA, forms into GLA, a very strong anti-inflammatory omega-6. The problem is synergy and balance. And as we teach, we need omega-3s and omega-6s almost in equal proportions. The problem in our lifestyle, too many people on the American diet are getting omega-6s from all these junk sources. We need to get our omega-6s from healthy sources.
And we're going to talk about that in a second. But Doc, can I bring you just back here? And I didn't tell you I was going to do this. But our people are out there in the field. And they need to know when they're talking to somebody, and they've got this big list of customers that they're working with, who in particular should be some of the first people or the people that they tell about the omegas? It says inflammation. So for example, if their people have a lot of inflammation, achy joints, a lot of
anything
arthritis,
in the word that ends in the word itis.
Okay.
Diverticulitis, arthritis, neuritis, colitis. Itis is inflammation. If they have an itis, they want it. Fighting infections, allergies, heart patients, neurologic patients, Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, MS. So these particular diabetics have a lot of inflammation and immune problems. And we all want to live longer.
Now our eye doctor friend that we've been working with, he's concerned about what in people's eyes that he's going to be recommending this to all of his patients. What is it about the omegas that's important with the eyes?
Omega-3s help to lubricate the eyes. So for so many people have dry eyes, don't they? And people are taking artificial eye drops to keep their eyes moist. Well, why not omega-3s to help the dryness? And then also for macular degeneration, it's a great add-on to the greens. The greens remain the #1 way to help prevent macular degeneration, but omega-3s really support the use of the greens. That's why adding omegas to the trio, in particular if you're an eye patient, with those greens are so important.
Okay, well, let's even get more simple. So if someone has maybe, we've been hearing a lot of things about people that are on the omegas, that maybe they're thinking a little bit more clearly, or their memory's a little bit better after they've been on the omegas for even the short period of time, the 6 months. So is that one of the reasons why we would recommend this?
Of course, we said the direct health of the brain, lining those nerve cells, the fact that it's improving the microcirculation, preventing that platelet stickiness and that sticky stuff that Dr. Sears teaches, that helps reduce that. So by improving circulation and the health of the nerve cells.
Okay, my poor husband doesn't know. He came home and I said, honey, we have to talk here. And what about for the heart? What aspect of the heart? Is it somebody that maybe has, I don't know, is it for high blood pressure? What aspect of the heart is omegas good for?
Well, as you see on the slide, blood pressure and cholesterol, but I would say most of the research now is going into the neurological phase. So much is going into inflammation and the neurologic conditions. I think this is, we'll see, the biggest thing.
Great.
But yes, heart, there is some benefit for the heart, of course.
Okay, so let's go to the next slide here. What we were going to do.
I'll go to the next one, 5 7s.
Backwards?
Yeah, backwards. Previous slide.
Okay, we're getting there.
So we just said that 3s and 6s are essential. We need them. We need them in balanced amounts from good sources. And algae represent a better source than fish for your 3s. And then there's 6s in this product that are from good sources. Now, 5s and 7s. Well, 5s are very important antioxidants, anti-inflammatory, skin, cardiovascular, and here's a big one for diabetics. So if you have a diabetic, you had better have them on omega-5s. And how many people that you know eat pomegranates every day? I don't think a lot. And so this is a great source. And don't forget, this pomegranate is such a big superfood. It's in your vineyard and in your complete. So by adding omegas, you are getting a lot of pomegranate extracts, and that is so important for these omega-5s and the benefits for skin, heart. CV means cardiovascular, but diabetes, how many people are diabetic or pre-diabetic? It helps glucose and insulin control. That's huge. Omega-7, very similar to the 9s, which is olive oil, avocados. We know some of the cardiovascular benefits. So again, omega-7s, very similar, heart, skin. But here's one for GI. If you have a patient with colitis, irritable bowel, Crohn's, ulcerative colitis, in particular, they're going to want to get these 7s. And the sea buckthorn is a great source of 7s, one of the best known sources, and for the 5s, the pomegranate. Macadamia nuts, well, they'll help with 5s and 7s, but how many Americans eat macadamia nuts? Not that many, and a little bit in salmon. Omega-9 we talked about, olive oil, avocado, stroke, heart disease, skin, hair. But I want to recall that when you're talking about the plant kingdom, they're combinations. So people are sometimes naive when they say, well, we don't want the 6s. Well, guess what? When you're eating flax, it's 3, 6, and 9s that you're getting. When you're eating chia seeds, when you're eating soy, 3s and 6s. You're eating canola oil, 3, 6s, and 9s. Most of the plant kingdom are combinations of these. So you want nature's balance. You don't want to take a product from nature and try and fool with it and extract certain things that you think are beneficial or not beneficial. It goes greatly with the D+ philosophy. Minimally processed, stay as close to nature as you can, and I love that. Next. So again, we're cutting out the fish. We're going to the fish food, algae, and these algae, you said, well, aren't we getting it from the ocean? No. These algae are grown in tanks, in aquariums, under controlled climate. right, these algae are grown in.
Well, it's gotta be hard too, because the more full you get, it's a lot of pressure.
Somebody mute, please.
I did.
Yeah.
I'm
What you see there is a microscope. These are microscopic algae. So this isn't just big seaweed. This is microscopic algae, and these are grown in aquariums under controlled situations, free of contaminants. Because otherwise, if you're getting them from the ocean, well, then basically you're going to get all the toxins that the fish get, and you're going to have to process the heck out of them. So we want them under control. This is an example, a exception to the rule. Yes, you want to stay close to nature, but when nature in the oceans is so polluted, you want to try and get around that with the algae oil. Next. And that's a study showing that many of your fish oil supplements, they'll say they got this big jar of fish oil supplements, omega-3s from a supermarket, and it costs, 10, some big cheap. Well, be careful what you spend your money on, because the cheaper products are going to be cheaply processed. So be careful, and that's where ours come into play. And don't forget, this will be tested like all the Juice Plus our products are tested, both by our laboratories plus NSF laboratories. And so I very firmly believe that this is going to be the purest of the purest product, and much purer that you could ever get in even a processed fish oil, which you only get the 3s. No, I want the 5, 6, 7s, and 9s. Next. So here's this is a supplement. If they put a food label, it would show just calories and fat, period. End of discussion. There'd be 0 protein, 0 carbohydrates. It wouldn't tell you much. So they chose a supplement. They could have asked for a food label, but they wouldn't show the breakdown of the 3s, 5s, 6s, 7s, 9s. It wouldn't show it. So they purposely chose a supplement level to show you the breakdown of those omegas. You can see them there. And you see the ingredients again: algae, pomegranate, sea buckthorn, raspberry, safflower, tomato. And believe me, that is not the full list. We teach how many ingredients does a tomato have? Well, there's tomato and tomato seed in here. So add to this tens of thousands of phytonutrients, vitamins, minerals that are not even on the label. So this is just so much more than omega product. Next.
Okay, and we have a kosher label on here, and the NSF has been applied for. It just does take a little bit of time for that.
And let me explain. What NSF wants is not an experimental version. They don't want the pre-launch version. They want a commercial grade. They want to test the sample that all of us are getting in the population. So they actually want to wait, have it out there for a while, and then test. So that's in process of being tested. That will come. But here I want to show you the point. Algae oil and fish, only omega-3s. Then you see the pomegranates, sea buckthorn, which is a orange, almost like an orange blueberry that grows in the Himalayas, China and Russia. And that's the only one with 7s. So if you're not eating sea buckthorn or a couple of macadamias now and then, you're just not getting them, and our body may not be making enough. And you see the pomegranate is just about one of the only sources of 5s. So yes, most contain mixtures, but there's a few, like algae for 3s, pomegranate for 5s, and sea buckthorn for 7s. Those are the sources. But notice, even a tomato has 3, 6, 9s. Raspberry, 6 and 9s. Don't memorize this. Just know that pomegranate for algae oil for 3s, pomegranate for 5s, sea buckthorn for 7s, but all of them, many of them have combinations. And the things we eat every day and don't even think about it, soy, flax, chia, all are combinations.
And this chart was the chart that Dr. Richard Du Bois put up. We just made it a little prettier because we took a photograph from our seats and added the pictures, and I will be posting this on our team website so you can have this.
So again, I think we say omega-3 sources. So we get our ALA from flax seeds and walnuts, but the omega-3s in this product comes mostly from the algae. Omega-5 I mentioned, omega-7 I spoke about, this omega-9s. So the idea is You need variety, don't you? Like we teach, variety. You just can't eat one food source. And I love the fact that there's such a rich variety of nutrients in this omega blend. It's just so much a part of our Juice Plus philosophy. And okay, so if we're going to get our sixes, which are essential, which are necessary in small amounts, let's get them from the good plant kingdom. Let's eliminate not the flax and the soy. Let's eliminate some of the salad dressings and the fast foods and the cakes and pastries. These are where this is why American society has too many sixes. We're not overdosing on veggies and fruits and veggies, are we? No, we're overdosing on junk foods, and that's our problem. So let's eliminate some of the excess omega-6s with this. And get our ratios in order, and they'll be in order if we go with Mother Nature in the plant kingdom and eliminate some of this fast food and junk food. So that's why I love now we no longer have a trio, we have a quattro. We have a four blend series. And so I'm just urging all of you, I know we are, Janet, you call up every customer, whether it's phone call, text, email, face-to-face, whatever. It's time you get on the communication lines, Facebook, social media, and say, look, we got this great product. It's a perfect addition to the trio. It fills in a great need, and just add it right in. It's one twice a day. It's in a vegan tapioca capsule, in a very same capsule that's the other trios going to be coming very shortly. So Jan, the faster
that we sell the trio, the sooner the new product will be out there and be shipping. They're expecting that to start happening around the 1st of the year, so that we will then have all of our product in vegan capsules. Until then, not to worry. All you need to do, if someone is strictly vegan and doesn't want the capsule, that means, for example, they never eat a Tylenol or antibiotic or anything else with the regular capsule. But with Juice Plus, all they need to do is open the capsule up and put the powders into their food, and then they don't have to worry about it. But
theoretically,
it won't be an issue coming January 1st.
Theoretically, you can puncture this capsule, squeeze the oil out, and put it in a smoothie, but I don't recommend it. And just some helpful hints. I recommend you take it one with food. So typically, that would be one with breakfast, one with supper, with food. And don't be afraid if you have one of these itises, for example, you double up like we do on the trail, take 2 and 2, sure, if you have a problem. But for the normal, who's normal anymore, I don't know.
The average.
One average, one twice a day. And then we leave them on the shelf. And when we open them, this is off the record. Juice Plus doesn't require this. We keep in the refrigerator when they're opened. I think they stay a little bit better that way. But that's my own personal opinion, not that of Juice Plus.
Exactly. Okay, we want to also make sure that everybody who is in the Chicagoland area is aware of some of the up and coming events. This Friday, we have our big cancer awareness program. Starts with Pink Yoga, followed by a short cancer survivor stories and a little bit of a health talk by me. There'll be a little bit of Juice Plus in there, but not too much. The American Cancer Society is coming out. All of our funds are going to help men and women dealing with cancer, but there'll be tons of prizes. There'll be a silent auction. There will be raffles. There will be beautiful Swarovski crystal necklaces for the best pink costume. This is an amazing thing to invite your customers to. Who doesn't like to go to a Halloween costume party? So it's a dress-up costume party, but it's got to be in pink with prizes. It's yoga, it's exercise, it's a health talk, it's a way to raise money for cancer. It's a fun night out with friends, both girl and guy friends. I've had a lot of people ask me if men are welcome. Yes, they are, but they have to wear pink. And I've already twisted my husband's arm. We are going to have a Juice Plus booth there, and I'm going to dress him in pink so that he kind of goes along with us here. It's a little bit of the agenda, if you will. And as I say, we're also going to have a pink pumpkin contest, and we've got beautiful prizes for that. There'll be makeup and jewelry. And the prizes that we've been given, one of our own, Jennifer Coleman, just told me that she received $800 worth of product from her company that's going to be given away at this event. So you really want to come. Then following that, we have Dr. Candace Corson on November the 2nd, which is Thursday at 7 p.m. in Tinley Park. She is a Yale-trained doctor, absolutely brilliant, integrative medicine, and that's the Tinley Park Convention Center. Kathy Prime and her team is in charge of that. And then the following morning, November the 3rd, we have a business training. Please consult both Prevention Chicago and your team Facebook pages for more information about any and all of
And
them.
November 3rd will be run by Karen Quirk in the Oak Brook area.
That is
Just so-
correct.
Okay,
And I can stop sharing here. And I'm going to take the recording.